What is the latest state of play on getting out the vote in Pennsylvania in a fair way and overcoming the voter suppression challenges that you have already faced?
I think, and thank you, Lawrence, it's really a pleasure to be with you, and it couldn't be on a more important topic. You see the president focusing on Pennsylvania, both campaigns really, because this is going to be the decider of this election. The president has engaged now, his campaign is involved in multiple lawsuits against our democracy, trying to come up with all types of reasons to cast doubt on the process and to make it more difficult for people to vote. But that's not really a surprise with someone like Donald Trump, who spent his entire career engaged in frivolous litigation. And so he's engaged in litigation. He's lying to the American people. He's doing everything but leading in a moment when we truly need a president to lead.
Now, a federal judge threw out the Trump case this Saturday. Is that the end of litigation as of now, or is there more?
Unfortunately, it's not. They are appealing that case yet again. And also, members of the Republican caucus are also party to lawsuits and litigation that they're trying to get heard before the U.S. Supreme Court. And so we're only about 21 days away from the election. And they're doing everything in their power to disrupt the vote. I mean, it really is absurd. When a president is sworn in and they take the oath of office, a part of what they're swearing to do is to protect this country. And there's nothing more central to America than our democracy. A president should be fighting to protect every single person's vote, not just the people he thinks are going to vote for him.
What the Trump campaign was fighting for in that case that the federal judge threw out, now appealing, is that they want people to be able to go in and become polling observers in polling places in counties where they do not live. So that could be someone from a rural Pennsylvania county going into a Philadelphia polling place and standing there, and in some cases trying to stand there, with their assault weapons, observing the polling place activities. That's what the Trump campaign is fighting to allow.
No, that's absolutely right. And a part of the reason we don't have that is because of consent decrees that the Republican Party over many years has been party to because of their intent on trying to intimidate voters. Listen, everybody wants certified poll watchers. There will be Democratic poll watchers on Election Day, and it's nothing wrong with having Republican poll watchers. But there is a process by which people can become poll watchers, and to do so, by using all the processes that are available, not just showing up to polling places, trying to create confusion and chaos. And the president is intent on doing that. And the Republican Party is happy to help him because his entire career has been about perpetrating frauds and scams on people, on vulnerable people. And now the latest scam is trying to commit fraud against our democracy. And I think it's disgusting and disgraceful to watch so many Republicans at the national and state level who are happy to help him.